The Killing was directed by Stanley Kubrick, and it stars Sterling Hayden, Vince Edwards, Colleen Gray, Marie Windsor, and Timothy Carey. So I decided to resurrect the Stanley Kubrick series after a 9-month hiatus. I've made it very clear on this channel that Stanley Kubrick is my all-time favorite director, though I failed to really cover any films of his that are considered bona fide classics. And The Killing is his first film in his filmography that I would consider a bona fide classic. And the shocking thing is that this film was made when he was just 28 years of age. This just shows you how much raw talent Stanley Kubrick possessed. This film opens up with a high-speed tracking shot of a running horse. Now, I have absolutely no idea how Stanley Kubrick managed to achieve this shot. With the speed at which the camera was moving and how smooth this shot is. I just love how incredibly smooth this shot is, but you can still feel just the raw speed and adrenaline in this one shot alone. In my opinion, this is the definition of a perfect shot. Also, just gotta get this out of the way really quickly. This review will contain spoilers to The Killing. So if you've never seen this film and you want to avoid any and all spoilers, I would highly recommend skipping to this timestamp so you can receive my spoiler-free thoughts and my final grade on this film. Though if you've already seen this film or you just don't care about spoilers, then let's proceed. So the basic plot synopsis of this film is that it follows an intricate heist, led by our main character, Johnny. Johnny is a career criminal who wants to commit one last grand heist so he can flee the country and live the rest of his life peacefully with his earnings. This film spends a lot of time setting up this heist, and surprisingly, this aspect isn't really boring. I mean, all of this setup is necessary because this heist is extremely intricate and it has a lot of moving parts to it. And watching this heist come together is actually really entertaining. This film is told from multiple perspectives, and it's not exactly told from chronological order. We see events play out in multiple perspectives, and timelines kind of overlap. I mean, this isn't super uncommon, but for a 50s movie, this feels super ahead of its time. You can see how Tarantino drew a lot of inspiration from this film. Even though this film isn't super well known, you may not know the fact that Christopher Nolan took some inspiration from this film in crafting the excellent bank robbery scene from The Dark Knight. Now, the performances here aren't exactly anything to write home about. The actors do the best at what they are given, but that isn't to say that the characters themselves aren't intriguing. I mean, even though they all have the same goal, that isn't to say that they aren't trying to foil this mission. They aren't trying to, I guess, one-up each other. There are tons of inside and outside forces that are trying to foil this mission. And there's actually a lot to take in here, and all these various plot threads kind of make your head explode, but you never really feel overwhelmed. Rather, you feel more compelled. Now, I love this film's ending. I understand how someone could find it frustrating, but I just find it super interesting. So this whole movie, our main character, Johnny, really tried to control every single conceivable aspect of this mission. And I love the fact that it just all gets foiled by this little dog. I mean, this whole movie, he's trying to control every single aspect of the mission. And once he gives control to outside forces, it all goes wrong. Everything goes wrong, and the plan is completely foiled. And I mean, yes, it's super frustrating, but I think that's kind of the point. I think that's what Kubrick was trying to go for here. And I just love how this film kind of has a depressing ending, unlike his previous film, Killer's Kiss, which had a very forced happy ending. The ending to this film feels 100% earned. I mean, this film isn't perfect. I do have a few minor gripes with it, but honestly, they're kind of nitpicky and a little insignificant, but I feel like addressing them. A few of the edits feel rather strange. Like, the transitions happen way too quickly, or there's often just not a transition at all, and it just kind of cuts to the next scene. And this feels kind of jarring, and it honestly took me out of the movie for like a few seconds. Also, Marie Windsor's character is your basic femme fatale character. She's clearly there as a character that you're supposed to love to hate. And I mean, this is done pretty successfully, but I feel like her character's kind of one note and one dimensional. We don't really understand her motivations other than the fact that she's just evil or whatever. And I feel like her character isn't really a character, but more or less an obstacle that our other characters have to get through. This isn't really a flaw, but it's more or less something that I think viewers really need to be aware of when watching this film. This is, after all, an early Stanley Kubrick film. So the Kubrickian elements are kind of light here because he hadn't really fully realized his style here. And so this film doesn't really feel as much like a Stanley Kubrick movie, like something like 2001 or The Shining. So, I mean, this is the film where you get to kind of see the roots and origins of the various elements that made the Kubrickian style. The Killing is a pretty solid film, with excellent pacing and an intriguing story. In my opinion, this is the first great Kubrick film, and I mean, after this point, it was all mostly uphill with his filmography. Overall, The Killing gets an A-. And make sure to tune in next week for yet another collab with my good friend Unique Frequency, where we talk about Tarantino's directorial debut, Reservoir Dogs. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my review of The Killing, and if you did, make sure to give this video a like. And if you want more content like this, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell notification so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And shout out to the Eastern Box Turtle and James Murray. Thanks for watching.